was silent now. The birds had stopped singing. The wind, usually playful, was still. All that remained were the towering stone walls, broken, quiet, haunted. No one knew why the people vanished. No one knew where they went. But the city they left behind whispered one thing. Someone had built greatness here, and the world refused to believe it. This is Great Zimbabwe, the lost stone kingdom of Africa, a place where the walls stood taller than houses, yet not one drop of cement held them together. Just stones, balanced, cut, fitted so precisely they've stood for over 700 years, without mortar, without machines, without any help from the outside world. So how did they do it? To understand that, we need to go back, not just years, but centuries. Back to a time when the African savanna was alive with the rhythm of drums, the scent of burning wood, and the voices of thousands echoing within the stone walls of a city unlike anything else on the continent. This wasn't a myth. It wasn't a legend. It was real. And for too long, the truth was buried, just like the city itself. It all began in the heart of what is now Zimbabwe. Long before the country took that name, long before the arrival of colonists, a civilization rose out of the granite hills. A civilization that built with fire and stone. Here's how. They would heat the granite boulders using flame, then pour water over them quickly. The sudden change in temperature cracked the stone like glass, clean and sharp. Imagine throwing cold water on a boiling hot plate. That's the kind of shock it gave. These shattered slabs were then shaped by hand and stacked carefully, like a giant puzzle. No glue, no cement, just gravity and genius. Some walls curved gracefully like the arms of a dancer. Others leaned slightly inward, a clever trick to keep them standing for centuries. Inside these walls lived a community so advanced they had kings, gold, trade networks, and connections with people thousands of miles away. But none of that fit the story European colonizers wanted to tell. When German explorer Karl Mauck arrived in the late 1800s, he couldn't believe his eyes. He stared at the soaring walls, the cone-shaped towers, the carved soapstone birds. And instead of wonder, he felt denial. He wrote that these ruins must have been built by outsiders. Maybe the Queen of Sheba, maybe the lost tribes of Israel, anyone but black Africans. Why? Because to him, this kind of architecture didn't belong in Africa. But he was wrong, completely wrong, and dangerously so. The real builders were the ancestors of the Shona people, African architects, engineers, and kings who had lived, loved, traded, and ruled from within these walls. At its height, Great Zimbabwe was home to more than 20,000 people. That's the size of some European towns during the same period. It was the heart of a kingdom that traded gold and ivory with the Swahili coast. From there, goods went across the ocean to Persia, India, and even China. Archaeologists have found Chinese porcelain, Arabian coins, and Persian glass right here in the dirt. Not fiction, not speculation, physical proof. So if this city was once so rich and powerful, why did it fall? That's where the story darkens again. By the 15th century, something shifted. Maybe the land was overused. Maybe the trade routes moved. Maybe the earth gave less and the people had to leave to survive. No one knows for sure. But the people abandoned the city and the silence returned. The stones stayed. The walls didn't fall. But the world forgot. Or maybe the world chose to forget. And here's the haunting part. If one African city, this complex, this rich, this powerful, was buried beneath the silence of history for so long, how many others are still hidden? And who really writes history? Because sometimes the truth isn't lost, it's buried. and someone doesn't want us to dig, like, comment, and subscribe for more hidden stories.